Hi, this is Rainbow Harmony, here to help you find balance and peace to live a more colorful life. And welcome back to my channel. In today's pick a card reading, we're going to be talking all about this full moon in Aries that is upon us right now. But first, don't forget to like and subscribe and ring the notification bell because that really helps me out. Help me get to 50K, you guys. That is my current goal. So we're going to talk a little bit about this full moon in Aries, and then we'll do a pick a card reading where you can choose a card to get a more personalized message. So let's get started. Let's get into this full moon in Aries. So if you guys have been staying updated on the astrology or you've been watching my channel recently, we've been talking all about how we've had like 4 planets that just stationed direct. We had Pluto go direct earlier this month. We had Saturn go direct. And then we've also yesterday or recently had Mercury and Jupiter stationed direct. So this is very, very good news. We have certainly been through a lot. It was a time of healing. It was a time of shadow work. And this full moon in Aries is such perfect timing because it's going to help us to have new beginnings. It really is like one cycle has ended and another is beginning. And I actually have been using this app called The Pattern, which I'm not associated with them, but you can just check it out in the App Store. But I really like it because it's been helping me look up my astrology. It's been helping me understand more of these cycles and seasons. I highly suggest that you guys get your chart done or that you look into your astrology. This is a really great time of year for that. The veil is so much thinner. So if around this time you find yourself feeling more drawn to astrology and to tarot, I mean, this is kind of our season, right, you guys? So we've got a lot of energies going on here, new beginnings. It's also a time of initiation. So, as I was realizing that in my pattern that I had all of these cycles that were going to be completed, it made me realize that means something new is coming. That means it's the beginning of a new cycle. That means it's the beginning of a new phase. And so in a lot of ways right now we're being initiated. We're neither here nor there. You might not exactly know what this new cycle or this new season in your life is all about, but you might have that change happening around you because this energy behind the full moon in Aries is very, very powerful. It's pushing things forward. It's helping you to release things. Yes, this is a very fiery energy. You're also going to realize during this time that your creative process and how you approach your creativity and just creativity in general is highlighted. You could find yourself starting a new project. You could find yourself really wanting to experience your creative side or wanting to give birth to something new in your life. So new beginnings, your creativity is heightened. It all seems to go together. And the last thing you're going to notice with this energy increasing is a sense of passion. So this passion could be surrounding you in your love life. It could be surrounding you with your career. It could just be like more of a sense of passion when you get up every day. Maybe you're a little bit more motivated or inspired, or you seem to have a little bit more energy. But if that hasn't hit you yet, don't feel bad because this is a very heavy energy with the full moon in Aries as well, and I'll go into that in a minute. So I see this full moon as a time to really just pause and reflect before these new initiations start, before this new season starts, as all of these planets have come direct and now they're going to start having more of a forward-moving, progressive, and expansive effect on us. It's very, very positive energy, but you might feel like you just need time to process all the stuff that happened when these planets were direct. So it's kind of like out of the shadow and into the light, like gleaning your pearls of wisdom from this time, especially after the Mercury retrograde. But you can breathe a sigh of relief and know that there's a big shift related to these planets going direct. And this full moon in Aries is kind of like a firecracker. It's just a really harsh, intense fire energy, just kind of burning and cleansing and purifying everything so that you can start over with a fresh slate. So here are some things that I recommend for you to do on this full moon or around this full moon. And I also have some things to recommend that I think you should not do. Might not be a good thing, okay? So here are some do's. The first thing would be to cut cords. All right, you're going to notice that there is a lot of anger coming up. Pay attention to your anger cues and triggers. Some people don't really experience anger as powerfully as others. Sometimes we're taught growing up that that's not like an acceptable emotion. So it's good for you to allow your anger to come out, allow it to come out in healthy ways. Scream into a pillow, spend some time writing. Spending time writing lately has really helped me. For some of you guys, this anger could be coming up in the form of sadness. So I just implore you to go a little bit deeper and to talk about it with someone you trust, to write about it. But this is an opportunity to cut cords. Yes, there's going to be a lot of anger coming up. There will be a lot of action in your career and your love life, like I mentioned. So it's almost like you're cutting the cords and getting rid of distractions, and a lot of the things and situations you've had going on around in your head, you're finally able to receive resolution. You're finally able to release it. It's a wonderful cleansing energy. It's a calming energy. But yeah, you might have some anger come up because it's an Aries energy. So some things that you want to do, once again, the first I would suggest would be physical activity. That's going to help you release these energies. So exercise, bike riding, jogging, walking, yoga, Pilates, even jumping on a trampoline, dancing, even just kind of intuitive dancing, shaking energy out. Qigong, that kind of stuff is going to be really, really good for you right now, because you literally need to just cleanse, purify, and shake some stuff out. Next, healing rituals or any type of rituals. I mean, the full moon is always a great time for that, but this is a good time to pull up and do all your spells. This is the harvest moon, so some of you guys might feel like you just want to open yourself to receive. So perhaps the types of rituals you can do are ones that clear your energy, ones that cut cords, ones that kind of allow you to be open to receive. You can do spells and rituals that are based off of maybe things you want in your career, maybe even things you want in love. So there's a lot of opportunities with this full moon. Another do for this full moon would be to spend time cleaning, and I probably need to clean a little bit more myself. That's actually what I'm planning on doing, but this is a good time to deep clean and get rid of stuff. I mean, the full moon's always about surrender, releasing, making room, making space, but especially with this full moon in Aries, it might be a way to kind of get some of the energy out and just clear space around you, and I promise you that you'll feel so much lighter after it's done. And the last do of this full moon would be to write. Just spend time writing, journaling. It could be part of your rituals. You could be writing letters to people from your past and burning them. I always suggest that as a cord cutting ritual. It's been really helpful for me. You could write out some new ideas you have, because now that Mercury retrograde is over, you might be able to actually move forward with some of these new plans and things that are coming up slowly but surely. So writing and getting organized and releasing and journaling and spending a little time in introspection will be really great during this full moon. Now, here are some don'ts for this full moon. These are some things I highly suggest that you just avoid, at least for a week, surrounding this full moon if you can, okay? So trigger warning, arguments. You might get triggered. Pay attention to your triggers. That's stuff you need to write about. If it's gonna happen, if you need to get in an argument with someone, let it happen, but just pay attention. I would avoid it. I would just, really try to pick your battles during this time, especially if it's a fight that's similar to fights you had during Mercury retrograde. So I guess with the fight, I'm talking about arguments or disagreements, whether it's with a boss or a coworker or a friend or a family member or your partner. Just be careful over this next week. Doesn't mean you can't express yourself or speak your truth. Maybe even be careful with how much you're arguing with yourself in your head. Watch your negative self-talk. We're always trying to watch that, right, you guys? Can't be perfect, but try to watch that. Try to speak kindly and lovingly to yourself. Know that you're going to be a little extra sensitive at this time, and you will need your own support and the support of others. So just try to keep the peace over the next week. Now, the next don't. This goes along with what I was just saying. Try not to overthink too much over the next week. You don't have to figure everything out. If there's something you can't reach a conclusion on or you're not able to make a decision about, just remind yourself that you will be able to make that decision when the time is right. That when, you absolutely must make the decision or you must move forward in a certain direction, you'll know when the time is right. And if you don't know right now, then it might just be best to focus on what's in front of you and just be in the present. Don't overthink too much at this time. This full moon in Aries and all these planets going direct and the switch in the energy could be just messing with your brain a little bit. It could be making you feel like it's like a force of energy, because when the planet goes direct, it's kind of has a gravitational kind of pull to it, if that makes sense. And so it will feel literally like you're almost being dragged. So, and it's normal to freak out and think, oh my gosh, what's wrong? And want to check and analyze every area of your life, but just remind yourself that there's a lot of growth happening right now. There's a lot of harvest happening. There's a lot of abundance coming, and that good things are going to happen. And, everything's just switching to be in your favor. Now, this is the last thing to avoid, which I don't think you can avoid it completely. It's just something to keep an eye on. It's just keep an eye on your level of restlessness and boredom. Remember that boredom is the gateway to the downward spiral, which means if you let yourself hang out in boredom too long, it can start spiraling you down into negativity. You need to allow yourself to rest and to relax. So if you are trying to rest and relax and pull back, just remind yourself this time too is productive. I deserve to rest and relax. And you don't have to be bored just because there's not a million things going on all the time. Allow yourself to rest, retreat, relax. And if you find yourself getting a little restless and bored, maybe you can use that time to write or journal or to come up with ideas or to do something that's more creatively or mentally stimulating or productive to keep your vibe high. But if you need to spiral down into that, by all means, let it happen. Maybe it's something that you need. I always say, don't avoid just what needs to happen, but just be on the lookout for those energies of restlessness and boredom. It can come along with this energy. It might just be asking you to look at, what do I want to start? What new beginning, with this Aries full moon, what new beginning do I want to have? Maybe it's just coming up to help show you, hey, there's some space that's been created in your life. Let's fill it with something. So I hope that this helps you guys. Now, if you are interested in receiving your own reading all about this full moon, I threw some stuff about career into this spread. I put some stuff about love in it. I am so excited, honestly, just to do this spread for myself. So here is the spread. Check it out. I suggest that you take a screenshot of it so you can pull cards and follow along with me. And then when you're ready, simply take a breath, ground yourself, and choose a card. Number 1, number 2, or number 3. Once you have chosen, head down below to the comments or to the description where your timestamps are posted, and you can just click on your timestamp and instantly be fast forwarded to your part in the reading. And I will see you for your reading soon. For those of you guys who choose number 1, we're going to get started with the first part of the spread, and this is what wants to be burned or released. So this is a full moon in Aries, very fiery sign. What wants to be burned? What wants to be released? And you're getting the 4 of Cups. And this is the weirdest thing, but I have this dragonfly that's just chilling right here. Keeps coming up to me. Look at that. It's a giant one too. Anyways, dragonflies, I'm going to incorporate that into the reading. Dragonflies are a symbol of staying positive, keeping your expectations high. Sometimes we feel like in life we have to lower our expectations, or, everything's going to hell in a handbasket. And I feel like especially after, this last year or two with the COVID and everything, it can be a difficult time on the planet right now. So much disillusionment going around, this feeling that you need to protect yourself and, maybe be feeling uncertain about the future. And so I love how the dragonfly came, because this card, the 4 of Cups, is also about that need to protect yourself, protect your resources, not open up to anybody, needing to hide away a little bit. So they're saying that with this full moon, that's what wants to be burned, that's what wants to be released. so that you can enter into more of a positive perspective towards your life, towards the opportunities that you have ahead of you, towards the world and the changes that it's going through. There could be some positive things that will happen, right? So this is definitely a message about that. I love how the dragonfly came. I think this Four of Cups is very on point. Let's move on next to what love opportunities are coming your way, because we're definitely having an increase with the love energy right now. So Mercury is over, Mercury retrograde's over, Jupiter is direct. Definitely some love opportunities coming in. Oh yeah, I kind of see what you're going through. So this is a message that sometimes your own mind can deceive you. Sometimes we can get caught up in a lot of overthinking, worry, and doubt and projection in our love life because of stuff we've been through in the past. So it's really important to get grounded. And there actually is this message that says, let your friends help you. It's almost like in your love life, you need a break, or you need some cleansing, or you need some healing. Sometimes just focus on you, And so I see this message that this is a good time to work on creating healthy friendships. Maybe for some of you guys who've been single for a while, or maybe you were deceived or went through something difficult in love, this is a way for you to just kind of gently dip your toe back in the pond with making some friends. In fact, the number one way that people meet a significant other or a partner, boyfriend or girlfriend, is through their friends. A lot of times it's somebody's coworker, maybe somebody's cousin, friend of a friend. And so I definitely see this vibe that a lot of you guys are being called to connect with more people, to open up to friendship, maybe to let that be your first step in healing instead of just jumping right back into another relationship, maybe to just work on friendships. We see that there are some of you guys who will be connecting with somebody very, very important after this full moon. New beginnings, this Jupiter energy definitely wants to expand. And depending on where Jupiter is in your chart, it could be that there's a positive influence in love right now, guiding you towards somebody that this says this could be the one. So this might be somebody that you end up, dating for a while, long-term relationship, or maybe this is like life partner type of material, but it seems pretty exciting. They're telling you to pay attention to your playfulness, to recapture romance, allow your inner youthful spirit of fun to shine. Maybe, like we said earlier with this card, the energy's been a little heavy. Maybe it's up to you right now to be a little bit more playful, to open up again, to know the coast is clear. It's okay for you to put yourself out there in love. Next, we're going to pull some cards about your career growth. So how does your career want to grow with this fiery full moon in Aries energy? This full moon highlights career growth. This is really, really good. Oh my goodness, these cards are great. The Three of Hearts or the Three of Cups, and then the Empress. Wow. This is a really, really good sign here. The Empress represents creativity. It's a very divine feminine type of energy. It's like the creative woman who goes into business. I think of somebody who's always been really into skincare or something and decides to have their own skincare brand and they blog about it. Somebody who wants to heal other people or help other people with their health, their nutrition, their confidence, something like that. I know a lot of you guys who follow this channel are also coaches or mentors, or you're into health or fitness or spirituality in some way, positive personal growth. And so maybe this card represents you because you're the woman, or you're the divine feminine energy out manifest into this world. And there's like some type of celebration. So it makes me feel like there's a doorway opening for you to be able to do something with your work that's more personal. This could be you starting your own business. This could be some type of side hustle. This could even just be you deciding that you want to bring your art out into the world. Maybe, hang some stuff in a gallery or collaborate with other artists. It's just your creative energy definitely heightened. And I feel like this is affecting your career. So an opportunity to do something creative or more heart-based for your career. If you've already been on this path for a while, then this is major, major growth. As you could be seeing the money, you could be seeing the income, you could be seeing the abundance start to pour in. So really positive signs. This is the Five of Swords. This kind of is like what you did to get here to this point. Maybe you can look back and see that even though your path recently, while all these planets were retrograde before this full moon, maybe you were able to see like that was a lot of pressure on you to grow, to change, to think outside the box. But that influence is kind of fading now. So I think you're being told like that time, as difficult as it was still useful to you. You're entering a new season of prosperity and growth in your career, and the messages couldn't be more positive. So, maybe you're not able to see this yet because this influence can still be around you, but just know like you're already, this door's open, walk right through it. Now we're going to get you some advice, just general advice over the next couple of weeks during this influence of the full moon in Aries. Just some general advice for you moving forward. Okay, so it's like you've been maybe you have like been waking up every day and you're in like a new routine. Maybe this is like your health and your fitness, or like scheduling in more self-care or me time, or you've been spending that time for yourself to work towards that project or goal or business idea or something like that. And it's so funny, like secretly you're very, very serious about this idea. Something's changed, there's been a switch that's gone on, and you're acting as if your life depended on this. It's like you're so anxious to change your situation, to go to the next level, to vibe up, to create an opportunity, to take what's yours. And your guides are just like, you know what? Go off. Go. Keep going. Make it happen. Continue to be unapologetic about what you want and what you're willing to do to get it. This is, fiery Aries, pedal to the metal energy. We've been feeling this for a while. This is just, your advice is like, keep going, keep going. It could also be telling you, if you haven't already, look at your daily routine, because if you're feeling like I don't have enough time to, make more friends or open up myself in love, or I don't have time for the business or the creative ideas, they're saying like, to make these changes. It might just be the little things, the secret little things you do every day that starts to add up over time to create that life you dream of. They're telling you, take that more seriously, take the little things, take the routine more seriously. And maybe some of you guys are asking with this reading, should I stay or should I go? Maybe for some of you guys, this go message is just like a synchronistic message you needed to hear. So if you're asking yourself that, should I go here? Should I go on this trip? Should I stay? Should I go? Should I leave? Like, this could be telling you, hey, go. Sometimes you got to choose yourself first. So beautiful. I hope that these messages resonate with you. If you're really feeling the energy and you want to tap more into what's going on in your life, hit me up. I do personal readings. We can chat over Skype or Zoom, or I can simply just get your questions and email you back a little video of me pulling cards for you. So check that out in the comments and the description, and I will see you next time. Peace out. For those of you guys who choose number 2, let's get started with this spread for the full moon in Aries, and we're going to start with this card, which is the card that you chose, and it's number 1 in the spread. So the question is, what wants to be burned or released? So once again, fire sign Aries, what wants to be burned or disintegrated with this full moon? What wants to be released? And you are getting the Sun of Swords. So I feel like for you, what wants to be released, this is almost like a trick question. I get the feeling you've already done a lot of healing, you've already done a lot of cord cutting, you've already done a lot of soul searching. It's almost like there's nothing left to do, at least at this point. I mean, healing is a journey, we've always got more, right? But you really have reached a point of completion. And I feel like as all these planets go direct, and now we got this symbolic full moon, you're very much synced up with the out with the old and with the new energy. So it's almost like a specific energy wants to be released from you. Like, I actually feel like you're being given the go-ahead to start new projects, to start new relationships, to forge ahead. I mean, maybe give it a week or two, you know, wait for that Mercury energy to go more direct. But like, if you feel like you just want to hit the ground running, then trust yourself. Because the Son of Swords or the Page of Swords is somebody who, they're almost like a messenger. They're somebody who is taking radical action. It might be like for the first time though, like they're really focused on being logical. They've had a lot of time of introspection and they have to go take care of all these little tasks in the 3D. So it's kind of like a running errands type of energy. It's kind of like a montage scene in a movie type of vibe. It's like getting it done. And so I would say that they want you to release that energy. They want you to put that out into the world, the showing up every day, being present in your body, because all of these healings and all of these teachings and everything you can delve into in this spiritual world, it's simply just a tool to help you be here and present and in the now. And so maybe what wants to be released or burned, it might not be relationships, it might not be cords being cut. There's a blank slate for you, and they're like, it's time to put the first brush stroke down. It's time to get your tools and materials and supplies all set up so that you can just make that first start. And so they're like, go at it. Like, have a plan of attack. Maybe this is about coming up with an idea. You know, I keep getting this message about it being very logical, very like logical steps forward right now. We talk a lot on this channel about trusting your heart and, you know, allowing yourself to take risks. But sometimes you got to be logical. Sometimes you got to gather your energy and your resources and take that first step. And that's what this is all about. They want that energy to be released out into the world. So let's move on next to love opportunities, okay? So with all these planets changing and this full moon, it definitely ushers in love opportunities, I think, for everybody. Let's see if we can get anything about that in the cards for you today. Okay, so the first thing I see is that you are going to be very, very attractive at this time. I think sometimes we have periods in our life where we're more inward and more introspective. And during those times, it can be hard to attract a bunch of people into your life. I feel like this is a more outward and expressive chapter in your life. And I feel likewise that your aura is just glowing. And you are so attractive inside and out. People might even be complimenting you or telling you that you look different, you've changed, like you're glowing. You know, people might be asking you questions like, oh, where'd you get that shirt? Or where's that perfume from? Because you just have this like allure to you that everyone just wants to know, how do I get that? And it's shadow work, right? It's all because of the shadow work. That's your secret, right? But basically, I don't think you're going to have trouble attracting anybody. Sometimes this card can be, I pull it for people who are single, who are about to have like a lot of dating going on. Multiple people asking them out, people sliding in their DMs, people flirting with you, paying attention to you, noticing you. It happens, you know, sometimes, believe it or not, sometimes it happens. I get the feeling a lot of you guys are really wanting to make more mature decisions in your love life. Like you are seriously so done with the BS. And I get this vibe that you're thinking more about your long-term goals when it comes to love and more about the future. There could be some of you guys who like never thought that you would ever say this, but maybe you're thinking it'd be nice to settle down, or maybe you'll get married, or you know, you're fantasizing a little bit more about the life partner. And I see that there are some of you guys who are really just excited to connect with the soulmate and have just that fresh new energy in your life. And so we see soulmate connections coming in. So you're going to be looking around and it's going to seem like everybody you know is locking it down or making some type of major decision in their love life. So, you know, some of you guys are going to be maybe kind of, well, I see resolving conflict and I see maturity here, luminosity. It might be that if you are in a relationship at this time, that you're going to have the opportunity to really hash some things out and resolve the conflict and get on the same page and become more powerful at manifesting things together. And it's a bright, beautiful opportunity, but some of you guys will not survive that. And so, you know, regardless of how it goes, For those of you guys that are in a relationship, there's gonna be a level up in this area of your life for sure. Level up for everybody, and we see that, there's signs that somebody's coming in, or you're feeling like a soul connection already, like you're wanting something that's very special, specific. So just hold on to your clarity, hold on to what your intentions are, what your boundaries are as you move forward and date. And I see just so many opportunities it's going to be popping off from this day onward. So next we're going to look into career, with Jupiter direct and this fiery full moon and Aries energy kind of cracking a whip behind it. There are definitely career opportunities to be had at this time. So let's look into it. Ooh. Yes! Oh my gosh! Why does it feels like I'm pulling the winning numbers to the lottery or something? It just feels like really positive, like, oh, I'm so happy about this for you. Oh my gosh, so we're getting the Six of Wands. This is the victory card, and I'm so happy that it came out next to the Ten of Wands. I usually get this card for people that are really stressed out at their job. They're super burdened. They can't have a good work-life balance. Maybe their body's breaking down. They're just exhausted. Maybe it's a toxic workplace, or you're starting at the bottom. Maybe you don't have the college education, or you haven't figured out a trade or a career for yourself, and you're just kind of working for the man, just trying to keep the lights on, food on the table, that kind of energy, So some of you guys have been at varying degrees of this. That feeling the burden or the stress. And even if your job provides a lot of wealth and it's your dream job, maybe just the stress of it got to you for a little while there. So I will say that as an alternative. But for most of you guys, I feel like this victory card is coming to cover this Ten of Wands and telling you that you have had some ideas. Like, this situation has really pushed you to be creative, because it's almost like for a while it felt like there was no way out. And you're like, I'm just condemned at this place or this job or this situation forever. But we see the Queen of Wands, and this is somebody who's very, very creative. This is somebody who's very accomplished. This is somebody who's consistent. This is somebody who's like a salesperson or a spokesperson. It does remind me of somebody who's like on social media, or who's an influencer, who has their own brand, or somebody who's like a writer, maybe even a teacher. The Queen of Wands is also somebody who's like the mystic, the poet, the dancer. So it's like the artist. And we see this Wheel of Fortune here, that you have found a way out, that you have found a way forward. And you just needed that time of meditation to get right with yourself, to figure out what your goal was. And here's the secret. It doesn't really matter what your plan or your goal or your ideas for your career. As long as it's something you love and that it's heart-based, you're doing it for the right reasons with the right intentions, and you stay consistent and you put the momentum in, it will be blessed and it will grow. It's like planting a seed, but you got to be the one to show up for it, to fertilize the soil, to make sure that it has the right conditions, to pull the weeds, to help it to bear the fruit. And so I really see for you that the opportunity that's coming is a shift away from the stress and the burden, and more into a heart-based career or line of work. It might even be that work isn't the main focus of your life anymore. You could have multiple streams of income and, delegate and appoint people to work for you, and I see it becoming just more of an effortless part of your expression versus it being this burden or something that keeps you from your true nature. And I feel like this is the opportunity that everybody has, but we all come from different situations and pasts that can, complicate certain things. And I feel like for you, the biggest part of this healing has been detaching and separating yourself from the judgment of, because this happened, or because you came from here, or because you're this old, or because whatever, then you can't do this. It's like you've broken through a lot. Some of you guys have disabilities. Some of you guys are single moms. Some of you guys have been through abuse or toxic relationships, and it's like you're on the other side now and you're taking your power back. And, the universe is just so ready to make it rain upon you. And in many ways, it already has. You've been so blessed along this path. This is a message. Don't worry. Your blessings cannot be taken from you. They are growing. And you're about to see that pop off real soon. So beautiful. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for you. Let's go ahead and pull next. Final advice. Final advice for you for this Aries full moon. Maybe there's something that you're really longing for. I don't know. This could be a relationship, a specific person. It could be a specific situation. I'm getting the word new. It could be something new you wanted. They're saying they know you've been longing and that's a big intention of yours right now, but it's going to come a little bit later. So it's almost like release timelines. It's not like you can't have it. It's just let this happen in divine timing. They're telling you, like I said earlier, this is a time to be extroverted in your life. They want you to practice that energy, get yourself out there, pull up your confidence and your self-esteem. They want you to overcome the chaos that surrounds you. They want you to release it. You don't need to take on these burdens any longer. Some of them aren't even yours. Yeah, those are some messages I'm getting for you. If this resonates with you and you'd like to dig a little bit deeper into your personal energy around this full moon, then hit me up. My information is below. We can chat through Skype or through Zoom, or you can just send me your questions and I can email you a little reading back. Check it out. The information is below. And I want to thank you so much for coming to my channel. I hope you enjoyed this reading, and I will see you next time. Peace out. For those of you guys who choose number 3, let's get your message. And this is the card that you chose. And the question is, what wants to be burned? What wants to be released? So this fiery full moon in Aries is here to burn things away that no longer serve us. So what wants to be burned or released in your life? We are getting the 5 of Wands. So this has to deal with scattered energy and indecision. It happens to the best of us. Sometimes, in this modern society, we're running around like a chicken with its head cut off, going nowhere real fast. And so sometimes we get a little bit too hyped up. Those of us who live in cities or overpopulated areas, which is most of the earth at this point, right? Those of us who are even very excited and inspired and very creative and have a lot to get done. Maybe even those of us who've been through trauma or something recently. There's a lot of different things that can make our energies be scattered. And we're not expected to be perfect and have perfectly balanced and aligned chakras all the time. We're going to be human, it happens. But this is really what wants to be released. Your guides are saying you've been walking around like this for way too long. Bless you, but you've been taking on burdens and you've been running around, and it's time to ground the energy. It's time to clear the energy. It's time to make some decisions. It's time to choose, So it's definitely this message of sometimes if you don't make a choice, the universe chooses for you. And I know that's tough because a lot of us, we like to avoid that responsibility by just kind of sitting back and letting things happen naturally, right? But sometimes if you don't choose, then the universe chooses for you. And that's not always a bad thing, because I believe the universe and the energies are like a loving force. But, sometimes that's where we start acting like a victim to life, because we're not making choices and we're just letting things happen around us. We're just accepting whatever energy is up in our, vibes. That can make ourselves vulnerable to narcissists or to, things that we don't really want or intend on, or so that's why it's important for us to know what we want, to set a clear intention, to make decisions that feel right to us. We gotta rest and pull back and allow, but sometimes we gotta assert our will and our energy forward. And so that's where the imbalance has been in your life, is it's time to be more assertive. And this is what wants to be released, like the scattered energy, the, oh no, what would happen? A lot of the worrying, overthinking, that wants to be released. And it's okay. We all go through those periods or have those types of thoughts. This card's just coming up to tell you, hey, you're ready to feel calm and tranquil and at peace and to feel good about the choices you make, and it's a gift that you give yourself. So next we're going to look into love opportunities. Oh my gosh, there's a big spider on my deck. See if I can show it to you guys. Oh, it's too fast. I don't think that's a coincidence. In number 1's reading, I had a dragonfly come up to me. Now I just saw a spider. Spiders are telling you to be careful of the web that you weave. Like, I've been watching a lot of spiders where I've been living here in Costa Rica. Lots of spiders. Giant tarantulas sometimes coming up in the house. But I think it really is so beautiful how spiders like consciously weave their beautiful webs, and then if something comes and tears it down, they'll just build another one. So I feel like that's a message for you to remind yourself, first of all, be conscious of what you're weaving. If you don't like it, if you feel like it's not right for you, you can tear it down and you can start anew and you can build another one. It's okay, you know? You're resilient just like the spider. So maybe that's something you needed to hear in your love life, or maybe that was just something that was following up on, you know, the first part of this message with this card about scattered energy. Love opportunities for you, because love opportunities are coming in. Okay, so some of you guys are in a connection with somebody currently. Maybe there's a title or label on this relationship, maybe there's not. But it does seem like there is a message to continue this connection, give it a chance. Like, it's almost like you guys have been a little out of touch lately, but I see a deep conversation. I see them reaching out, and you guys being able to have this deep conversation and honestly discuss your feelings with each other. It's like you guys just don't know where each other stands. And I do feel that there's still strong emotions and strong affection that's growing in this connection. It's like you guys just need a chance to talk about it. It might even be that this conversation defines the relationship or puts you guys more on a path to connect deeper. This says your love life is ascending to a higher level of commitment. So that's pretty exciting. And then this says, let your friends help you, ask for and accept support from others. I don't know why I just kind of saw you at like your best friend's house doing your hair and your makeup because you're like about to go out on a date with this person and they're just like giving you a pep talk and you're like, oh my gosh, like maybe this is it. I really like them. I feel like maybe some of your friends are noticing that lately you've been like smiling more. You've had a bounce in your step. You really like this person. They seem to be having a good effect on you. So always pay attention to that, you know, pay attention to how they're making you feel. Pay attention to the vibes. I feel like it's some good vibes here. You're going to get some good news moving forward. And maybe for some of you guys who are single, you're getting this message because maybe this situation will come into your life soon. Somebody that you can have these deep conversations with, move forward with, you know, all your friends are happy for you and asking you what your secret is. Let's see if we can pull some more cards for those of you guys maybe who are in a relationship, because we got give your relationship a chance. That immediately made me think of those of you guys who might be in long-term relationships. This is talking about a period of playfulness being restored to this connection. A time, maybe you guys are taking a little vacation or some time off, or maybe the weather's turned and there's more time of, you know, cuddling and tea and movie watching. And I definitely see playful energy and you actually having a lot more time with your partner. Maybe things are really busy over the end of summer, and I see here like in the fall and winter you're having more quality time. So that's beautiful. Let's pull you some final advice. Anything else that you need to know before we end this reading today? So final advice for the full moon in Aries. So they're telling you just one word here, strategy. It's time to strategize. If you're feeling a little bit lost, remember we talked about the scattered energy that wants to be released. Maybe it's time to put some pen to paper. We talked about how writing is something that will be really helpful around this full moon in Aries. So it's time to write some things out, come up with a strategy. There's even apps that you can use to help you come up with like an alert system and to get organized. So it might be time that you come out with a strategy because it seems like you got a lot going on. They're also telling you, yes, your love life is very, very heightened. Your love life is very heightened at this time. So just love. Maybe the answer sometimes is simple. Maybe your advice is simple. It's just to go out there and love and have a good strategy. I hope that this message resonates with you. If it did and you want to dig a little bit deeper into what's going on in your life and pull some cards and get some advice, then feel free to hit me up. My contact information is down below. We can chat through Zoom or through Skype, or you can just send me your questions and I can email you back a little personal reading. Thank you so much for coming to my channel, and I will see you next time. Peace out.